Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles isn't just some popular franchise, it's a full-blown cultural phenomenon that's shaped multiple generations. You couldn't escape their influence, especially in the 90s and early 2000s when they were at the height of their popularity, captivating kids and adults worldwide. But like all good things, their star started to fade, and it seemed like the Turtles were making way for newer franchises, yet they never really disappeared. Multiple attempts have been made to rekindle the spark, like Michael Bay's Dilogy or last year's Mutant Mayhem, projects that stirred up mixed reactions but were far from failures. But soon the Ninja Turtles are set to get their darkest and most mature interpretation yet. Enter the last Ronin movie, the latest addition to the Turtleverse. Brace yourself for an R-rated adaptation that's got everyone talking. To say it's eagerly anticipated is an understatement. The comic about the last surviving turtle ranks among the top 10 adult-rated comics of all time, and its upcoming live-action adaptation is a major event for fans everywhere. To really grasp the significance of the upcoming movie, let's take a trip back to where it all started. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first emerged as a black and white comic in 1984, created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. What started as a parody of the popular superhero series of the time like Daredevil and Batman, the influence is clear. Splinter was heavily inspired by Stick, Daredevil's mentor, while the Turtles' teenage status was a nod to the success of DC's Teen Titans. Their mutant origins is a direct play on the X-Men craze. The concept was simple: young, mutated reptiles trained in the art of ninjutsu fighting crime in New York. The debut comic was an instant hit, and soon enough, exclusive deals with merchandisers and action figure companies turned the franchise into a commercial powerhouse. A screen adaptation was inevitable, and in 1987, the legendary animated series hit the airwaves, running for over a decade with 190 episodes. Although the series was more colorful and kid-friendly than the gritty original comics, it added iconic elements to the Turtles' mythology, like the multicolored masks and their obsession with pizza, that became essential to their identity. The 90s brought us live-action movies, but aside from the first one, the sequels couldn't replicate the same success. And after the third film, the live-action adaptations came to a halt. And then in 2014, Michael Bay, the director of Transformers, decided to take on the task of reviving the TMNT franchise. His two-part adaptation became the most modern take on the Turtles, and the experience from those films will play a significant role in shaping the last Ronin. The decision to bring Turtles back to the big screen came 8 years after Bay's second reboot movie. While his Dilogy did decently at the box office, the reviews were mixed. One of the main criticisms was the design of the Turtles. Although the visual effects added a layer of realism to their appearance, the overall look of the Turtles sparked controversy, a point the creators of the last Ronin will need to address. However, this time, the design might have an edge since the main character wears more clothing and armor. The last Ronin is still in the early stages of development, but we already know that the script will be penned by Tyler Burton Smith, known for The Kid Who Would Be King with Bill Skarsgård. Among the producers is Walter Hamada, who played a key role in creating hits like It, Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, and Matt Reeves' The Batman. Yes, Hamada was essentially the head of the DC Extended Universe, leading some to speculate that The Last Ronin is doomed to fail, but Walter has plenty of successful projects and a wealth of experience under his belt. It's also worth noting that Hamada's studio will be involved in adapting The Last Ronin game, although it's unclear whether it will follow the film's storyline or expand on it. Either way, this highlights the serious commitment to the project. It's important to note that the storyline of The Last Ronin is a controversial one among fans. First off, it's a stark departure from the usual tone and atmosphere of the franchise. This tale is drenched in blood, which makes sense since it's all about vengeance. Secondly, this isn't a story about teenagers. It's a tragic conclusion to the lives of all the main characters. It's a dark and mature narrative that stands apart from the rest of the series. The Last Ronin marked the beginning of a new branch in the franchise, set in what's now called the RONIN-verse. Beyond the revenge story, the series continued with a plot focused on the Turtles' successors. So if the film succeeds, we can expect sequels and spin-offs to follow. The events of The Last Ronin unfold in an alternate reality. Despite one of the original creators, Kevin Eastman, being involved in the comic's creation, it wasn't intended as the final chapter for the heroes. However, the grim plot twist involving one of the most beloved characters and its subsequent development garnered critical acclaim and resonated with many readers. By now, it's no secret that the central theme of the movie will be revenge. After a series of tragic events, one turtle survives and vows to avenge his brother's deaths. One of the unique aspects of The Last Ronin is that for a long time it wasn't clear which turtle survived. This ambiguity was achieved by having the survivor wield all four brothers' weapons and forgoing the characteristic colored mask. During the plot, Ronin returns to New York with one mission: to overthrow the tyrant Oroku Hiroto, who has seized control of the city. Hiroto, the grandson of Shredder, is responsible for the deaths of all the Turtles, Casey Jones, and even Splinter. In this dystopian future, only the Ronin has survived, and his entire existence revolves around avenging his slain family. The loss of his loved ones has left him deeply scarred, turning him cold and ruthless. At one point, he even starts conversing with his dead brothers. This storyline is set to be darker than anything ever shown in the Ninja Turtles movies. It's clear that beyond the violence and action, the film will tackle heavy themes like mental health, the loss of loved ones, the void left by their absence, and uncontrolled rage. While The Last Ronin might seem too grim for many fans who know the franchise only through the animated series and previous movies, it's this seriousness and depth that make it such a highly anticipated and ambitious project. The storyline of The Last Ronin fits seamlessly with the roots of the original Ninja Turtles comics. The early issues didn't shy away from depicting the heroes in brutal battles, where blood and dismemberment were commonplace. The creators weren't afraid to use harsh language and craft dark, heavy scenes. In this way, The Last Ronin brings us back to the gritty origins of the franchise, showcasing its darker side. Using this storyline for an R-rated film isn't just justified, it's necessary. It allows the full potential of the story to be realized and maintains its brutally harsh tone, which will undoubtedly be a key factor in its success. After all, we're looking at the first part in the franchise aimed exclusively at an adult audience. In today's film industry, many stories get watered down to appeal to the broadest audience possible, but The Last Ronin bucks that trend. In spirit, it's more akin to Logan, which also deviated significantly in tone and style from the rest of the X-Men film. It's clear that The Last Ronin could follow a similar path, resonating with its now grown-up fan base. Expectations for this film are sky high, and for good reason. The story has immense potential and every chance to become a true gem in the franchise's crown. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are one of the most beloved and iconic series, and it's only natural to hope that the creators will do everything in their power to make this project a success. Stay tuned,